The transition music provided to you in this episode is created by IZ3Y or Izzy on SoundCloud. Please take the time to go check out his music, it's amazing. Now on to the show.
Alright, welcome back to Gab Street.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We're taking another walk down that street.
Is that really going to be like our
That's going to be a thing. Yes. We're going to buy the street sign eventually.
Once we start doing video?
Once we start doing video and some mugs. We're going to get 2 Gab Street mugs.
Well, we sell mugs.
We do sell mugs.
Is it redbubble.com/shop?
Something. I'll change it to Gab-Street. But right now it's not that, but it'll be...
I mean, if you search Gab Street, you might be able to find it on redbubble.com.
Yeah, you'll be able to find it.
But we got stickers, we got mugs, we got shirts, we got stuff.
Got posters.
We got posters. Do we have leggings?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I can arrange that.
We can arrange that?
You can buy it. Close enough to the street sign is a metal print. So you could buy a metal print now.
You can buy a metal print through Redbubble?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I love Redbubble, dude. You can get anything. Except for mouse pads. They don't sell fucking mouse pads. It makes me upset.
Wait, what? Really? They sell mugs but not mouse pads?
Yes.
That
is true. Things... They don't even sell the shit without handles. Okay? Shit's weird. So...
Alright, so...
Enough plugging.
So, Corey, you and I just got back from a little trip that we took. Not down Gab Street.
Yes, we drove down to... We found the real Gab Street.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. We went down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, with a good buddy of ours, Spamuel.
Sam Wegner.
And
very talented filmmaker that we know, that we work with quite a bit.
Yes, if you watch the old Outage Couch shit, he directed a lot of the sketches.
Yeah.
He was gracious and let us stay in South Carolina with him for 4 days, and I drove a total of 1,200 miles.
All by yourself.
All by myself. They did not help me drive. It was great.
Well, there's a reason.
I had to focus.
Sam could have, but he didn't want to. I couldn't because there's no way that my mother would let me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a child.
We were technically your fathers for the entire trip.
I kept making jokes and posting shit on Instagram and Snapchat saying,
my 2 dads.
We're so glad to be here with my 2 dads. But yeah, we had a good time. Got to check out a lot of the stuff. Got peer pressured by a lot of people running local shops to buy some shit. I got a really shitty $30 henna tattoo that
it's already washing off.
It is all
dude.
It's supposed to last 2 months, and I left it on there, so it should have stayed. It should be there for 3 months, but it looks like it probably won't last another few days.
Jesus,
it's a little shitty Batman tattoo that I got on my forearm.
That dude knows you're never going to see him again, so that's why.
Well, he was like, "You can tip me on the way out." I didn't, and he probably didn't deserve it after this anyway.
Yeah. Now it just kind of looks like a birthmark that got punched into your arm.
It honestly does. It looks like someone sharpied it onto my arm, and now it's finally.
And then branded it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like shit.
You can't even tell it's Batman, honestly.
Waste of $30. I mean, you can tell it's Batman.
Kind of. I don't know. I would mistake that for some Battlestar Galactica ship.
Fuck no. What? If anything, I think at first glance it kind of looks like the Iron Fist logo instead.
I don't know what that looks like.
It's kind of like the same thing with the wings, because this is the circular Batman logo. The Iron Fist one is kind of similar, except it's a combination of the Batman logo and the Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls Skyrim Dragon logo.
Okay.
It's a combination of that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we had a good time. Did a whole lot of nothing. Did a whole lot of something.
We did not, contrary to popular belief, we did not go down there to drink and smoke.
We did not, because we are good Christian boys.
We are good agnostic boys, and we do not drink or smoke, which is a topic that I want to start off with
today. Now they're going to think that we did drink and smoke.
Well, they can think whatever they want. Today I want to talk about a very controversial topic among people our age.
Juuls.
Juul is a thing that is rampant everywhere. I see it all the time.
Everybody's got one. Your grandma's got one. Your aunt's got one. Your dog's got one.
Pope's got one, probably.
Pope's got one.
Is he going to heaven? Probably.
The Pope released a patch saying that
Yeah,
all dogs go to heaven and all jewelers go to hell.
But this is just history repeating itself again, I
Yeah.
think, because we had smoking in the boys' room. Like, it's just that shit right now. It's just, yeah, I got my Juul and I'm gonna go to school. Like, that's what...
Juul came out. It was designed to lead people off of cigarettes because they knew that all like the shit that people were pushing into cigarettes, and Juul was always like, okay, here's this like vaporized oil that has a shit ton of nicotine in it, but supposedly isn't nearly as bad as cigarettes. So if you do this, it's supposed to help you lead you off cigarettes. But like one of those Juul pods has like the same amount of nicotine as a whole pack of cigarettes, and people are like huffing and puffing on those things like all
And
day.
blowing houses down.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And I think it's absolute like there are kids at our school, specifically like freshmen and sophomore kids. I can't take a piss without going in and smelling blue raspberry or like fucking mint.
Well, that's your fault for pissing in the Juul can,
Who put toilets in the Juul lounge?
Why would you pee in the Juul room? I don't understand.
No, but in all seriousness, it's like it's so stupid that these kids are getting hooked on these things that it's not designed to start you in this whole thing. It's designed to get you off of it. But so many kids are like, back in the day, like if you smoked, you were cool, but and now it's the same thing where if you vape, you're cool, but actually in the reality, you're kind of a dumbass because you're just if nothing should be going into your lungs except air. Anything other than that, it's just like no. It's like your body was not designed to be putting in anything into its lungs other than air.
I'm sorry. How does that explain my my essential oils vape pen? Huh? How does that explain that? I have it right here. I have a real ass essential oils vape pen. It's peppermint.
I stand by what I said.
That's offensive, and I have to report you now.
Opinion.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Juuls, though. Juuls are ridiculous, and a lot of people I know, I have never personally hit one. I don't want to hit a Juul. I'm not interested. A lot of my friends are addicted. I know people. I know people in my family and that I'm friends with that are involved in this, that actively participate in like the school Juul economy and shit. Like, it's real, and the only thing stopping this stuff from being taken out of the hands of kids is that you aren't allowed to have cameras in bathrooms. Like, that's pretty much it. And it's always happening.
At our school, they've started like temporarily shutting down bathrooms and putting up signs like this bathroom is closed due to inappropriate activity. And
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah. They're putting it up because like kids are going in there and juuling. But like, motherfucker, I have to take a piss. I don't want to have to walk all the way across the school if I've got to go.
Well, again, that's your fault for peeing in the Juul room.
Like these kids aren't gonna like. They can't close down all the bathrooms. They see one's closed, they're just gonna pop over the next one and do it there. I mean, the thing, like, there is no real way of stopping it. Like, in Upper Arlington, they have raised the age of any kind of smoking from 18 to 21.
Yes.
But you can
just leave
you can
city
drive
limits.
5 minutes to Hilliard or Dublin and just get something there, which a lot of kids I know are doing.
Gotta get my mango buzz.
Which is another thing, like, they're banning
they're not
mango.
they're not selling flavored ones anymore.
Yeah, a lot of retailers aren't selling flavored ones. Like, I think you can still get like the mint ones. 'Cause I think that's just the default.
Can't get your nicotine lollipops anymore.
Yeah, we saw the article just a second ago where they were banning mango and cucumber.
Yes.
Who the fuck wants to vape cucumber flavored Juul? Like, cucumber, I cannot stand it. Like, I've met like less than a handful of people in my life who can actually stand the taste of cucumber.
I salt that shit. I eat it, man. I don't know what's wrong with you.
I cannot stand it. It tastes like it's the aftertaste that just never leaves. It's like fucking green beans for me. Like, it's just.
I also like green beans. You can eat shit.
Fuck
But I understand your point though, because who wants to inhale cucumber? Well, some people inhale cucumbers, but I mean, like, who wants to?
In a sexual manner.
Right. Thank you. But
I just wanted to put that up.
in vapor form though, in vaporuni. You don't want to do that, man.
With all the other, like, I'm sure there's, like, probably a ton of other...
It's probably radish flavor.
Well, it's, like, the thing's not only loaded with an ass ton of nicotine, but it's just, like, we don't know what's in that stuff. Like, there hasn't been enough research about it. Like, I don't want to be over here like Ronald Reagan saying that it's the most dangerous thing in the world, like he was saying about pot, when it's probably, like, the most... Honestly, pot is probably the safest thing that you can smoke. Other than the fact that it can, like, fuck your brain in the early stages, but, like, it's...
Yeah. Don't give weed to your baby. That's all. Like that's
there was only like that one case of these parents that like hotboxed their house and their baby suffocated or something.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I don't know about
it's
that.
Like no, there have been no reported incidents of somebody smoking weed and dying, but there was an incident I think where there was this couple that like essentially hotboxed their house and their baby was in it and the baby like suffocated from the fumes or something.
So it got high as shit.
I mean, that's... Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of sad, but at the same time...
Oh, you mean it died?
No, the baby died.
Oh, shit. I thought you meant it, like, coughed a little.
No, it died.
Oh. Don't Juul, kids. That's not...
Like, I mean, I guess that's... I can't think of a... I mean, better way to go out. Just fucking... I don't know.
Oh, my God. Jesus. Speaking of going out, the... fucking FDA dude resigned.
Oh, yeah?
And so, I think... Here's my hot take for today. Here's my hot take.
Corey's hot take.
My hot take...
New segment, Corey's hot take.
On...
With hot cakes. We get hot cakes, we bring in hot cakes, and Corey gives us his hot takes.
We're doing that next time when I'm hungry. Juul as a company is probably... Here comes the hot take part. Thriving off the news that they're going to die. Does that make sense to you?
In a way, can you elaborate?
So all of these news outlets that are saying like, oh, Juul's probably gonna be next, you know, like they're gonna be freaking dumbed on and they're gonna be taken down and Juul's gonna be gone. And that's being published everywhere, saying they're going to be banned and stuff. I think that Juul's getting a lot more business from that. And I think that now that the FDA dude, I don't remember his name, is resigning from the FDA, the article we were reading earlier said that gives the FDA an opening for lobbying and such. So I would not be surprised if, like a lot of other things, they're actually thriving from this controversy, you know? I just pulled a Sean Connery there.
Well, I don't know about that, considering that a lot of retailers are taking out the flavors that they're selling.
Well, Juul took away their flavors. That was Juul.
That was their decision?
Yeah.
I thought it was the retailers that were...
They did that themselves.
Okay.
But, like, I don't have any statistics to back this up. I'll be completely honest. That's why it's a hot take. I just think that controversy is probably doing something for them positive their way.
What happened to vape mods, man? I remember when those were like it was vape mod. It was people started doing mods, and then Juul came out, and now it's like, oh, now it's this small thing, and it's like more convenient, and it's
well,
cheaper.
it's easier to hide,
and it's also cheaper.
Yeah,
it's like $30 for one compared to mods, which are like $300.
What was I gonna say about vape mods? Oh, what about H3H3's like 20-gallon vape?
Oh my god.
Dude, Vape Nation 2 is a great video.
Did I show you Cordo Digital's Vape God video?
No, you did not.
It's like this video where they start off like these guys vaping, and then they're like all their clouds meet in the middle, and it creates this like portal where this actual Vape God like comes out of the center, and he like one of the guys actually takes like a rip from the Vape God's mod, and he like dissipates into clouds, and then the Vape God Hash is like, oh, how do I bring him back? And then he goes to like his higher up, and then the higher up, who's like this giant guy, gives him this his mod, which like to him is like fucking huge.
Yeah.
And so he hits it, blows it, and brings the guy back. Like if you haven't seen the video, it's pretty funny.
That's good. Who do you think is the modern Vape God?
Modern Vape God?
What do you, when you think of the phrase Vape God, who is the person that comes to mind?
I feel like everybody's mind probably goes to H3.
Probably. Yeah.
There's this fucker I keep seeing on Instagram that does like these like color. He like I don't know. He takes like the vapor and like edits it in post, so it's like colors and different colors and shit, and like does a bunch of vape tricks. I don't know his name, but I see him all over Instagram.
Does he make money off of this?
Probably.
That is sad.
I don't know.
I think that is very sad.
Well, it's probably just the same way anybody makes money on Instagram, just by advertising shit.
Yeah, true. No, you pay for advertisement on Instagram, which I have done before. A while back, I used to have a short-lived internship with a local company in Matchbox Limited. Check out Matchbox Limited, by the way, if you own a business and you want to get it marketed and advertised. They do a great job and great video work. But I hit the button and I paid money to show people things, and that was weird. So I don't screw around with that anymore.
Well, it's
not my thing.
About, like paying for people to see your stuff, because in a way, I mean, you pay for advertising, and in hope that you want to, because it's ROI, return on investment. So you want to invest money into things like advertising to get the name out, so that way you can sell a product and then make the money back.
Yeah.
So in most business cases, you kind of have to put some money in, because that's what capital is. It's money that you're willing to put in.
Yeah.
And, eventually you'll get that money back. It's not going to be, like, instantaneous, but that's just how it works. Like, you invest a certain amount of money and to get it started, and then you eventually make that money back if your business is successful.
True that. I don't know, man. Whenever I see, like, say on Reddit or on Instagram, yeah, I go on Reddit, fuck with me, or on, say, Twitter or something, and as the moment my brain notices the promoted tag next to it,
Or sponsored or promoted.
yeah, sponsored or promoted, I shut that shit out, and I either remove it or I scroll away immediately. I cannot, even if it looks the slightest bit cool, like even if it's something I'm interested in, like Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I'm excited for that game, but I'll see on Reddit a post that says promoted Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, pre-order now. And I look at that and I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't want to play that anymore. Like, that's just kind of, I don't like promoted. Like, that just
How else are they gonna get their?
And that's why it sucks to have that attitude. But
Yeah.
I don't. It's a subconscious thing where I just hate it. And I took my English class last year made me hate advertising, and just because, well, we were taught a completely Marxist like curriculum, and that's been pointed out by many people, but nothing's been done about it, which is rather interesting. Controversy. But that class delves really deep into, like, capitalism and advertising as a medium, and it made me see advertisement as something with almost zero value when it comes to culture. Like, I don't see anything of value that comes from corporate advertising specifically. That class has ruined commercials for me completely. And I am in a lot more pain than I used to be as a kid now, seeing any sort of advertisement than I used to.
Morgan Spurlock, the guy who did Super Size Me McDonald's.
Yeah.
He did a
Rock and Roll McDonald's.
He did a movie called Palm Wonderful Presents the Greatest Movie Ever Sold, and the movie is entirely paid for by sponsors, and the movie is a documentary about advertising and sponsorships, and the entire movie is paid for by the companies that it's interviewing or like doing research on.
Yeah,
Which is funny because it's like, I think
that sounds great.
Yeah, it's a very interesting documentary, because he has like sponsored segments kind of like throughout the movie, and I think the budget was like $1.5 million, which Palm Wonderful paid in full. The money, I don't think the movie made nearly that much in return, But like Palm Wonderful paid. That's why it's called Palm Wonderful Presents Greatest Movie Ever Sold.
Yeah.
But it's like it deals into how advertising works, how like even schools are getting in on it, so that because like the school is having trouble raising money, so they'll go to advertising to raise money for the school, and how like there's a lot of psychological stuff that's involved with like certain colors that are used and like certain movements and different, just like the way that the product is being advertised is like the way that it sucks you in.
I didn't see that, but I saw something similar talking about schools and corporate involvement in schools, and how like we even have like Pepsi machines at our school. Like that's a deal. That's a deal with Pepsi. We sell Mountain Dew at our school.
We have banners in the gym
that say like Pepsi.
No, that are like Roosters and Donatos, because they sponsor the school.
Yeah, we do.
Like local like companies like with NUA and around Columbus and some other big franchises around the state promote the school. So
how do you feel about like Mountain Dew being sold at elementary schools and shit? Like what do you think about that? I'm not a huge fan.
I can see the concern, but at the same, it's like I'm kind of divided between, yeah, that's probably not a good idea because it's a sugary drink and the last thing we need is more people getting hooked on sugar, but there's also a big part of me that's just like, I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because I don't really ever, I mean, I might get an energy drink from the vending machine, but that's very rare because there's also a coffee shop in our school.
Yeah.
So I'll typically just get like a regular coffee if I need like energy or anything. Plus it's also about the same, no, because, well, the energy drinks that they think in the vending machine are like $125 and a coffee is like $175 at its cheapest. So I can see why people would float to that, which is debatably a huge problem in general with, you'd say, obesity and people with like sugary foods and bad food being cheaper than healthier foods, which is why more people are resorting to that, because it's like, oh, well, I can get the Taco Bell $5 box, which comes with all this food, but like healthy alternatives are going to cost way more. So that's why a lot of people resort, because they want to save money, so they resort to the bad food because it costs less.
Yeah.
And it does. It definitely, in school, it definitely doesn't help that a majority of what they sell for lunch is just garbage, and like it's like every day it's like pizza and fries and cheeseburgers. Like they have like some pasta and sushi, but like I feel like that's just like one.
And
section.
that line is a lot shorter.
That line is a lot shorter
every single day. Yeah. That line's shorter.
Mm-hmm. And they have like I feel like they have gotten better because they have like a deli sub section where the snack bar was. Mm-hmm. They've turned it into like a small deli inside
like Subway right there.
Yeah, which I think is nice. And
sponsored by Subway. Sorry,
if only. I think that. So I think we're getting better about it, but I think it's still there is a problem with it, and like this has been addressed several times in several different documentaries and different shows.
Yeah.
But I think we are getting better about it. People were like, when Michelle Obama was like, we're gonna like put healthier foods in, and that's why it's like, oh, now it's like diet soda in the vending machine, which I actually kind of respect.
Yeah.
I'm like totally okay with that because I think it's a good idea. And she had like a thing with Nickelodeon for a while where I think it was like one day out of the year
Play 60.
Yeah, or like Nickelodeon would shut down for the whole day.
Yep.
To promote kids to go outside. Which didn't promote me. It just meant that I would watch Cartoon Network instead.
Yeah. Well, they did it on a few of them. Do you remember like the little kids channel called Noggin?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was flipping. Well, I wasn't flipping channels. Somebody was flipping channels. I don't watch cable television, but it was a long time ago, and somebody went on to Noggin for whatever reason. There was no one younger than 12 in the room, so I don't know why. But it was just a dude standing there, not like a cartoon dude, not just some creepy dude looking at you, but like it was a cartoon dude, and he was like, yeah, you're outside right now, you little shit. Like, it's just, you're not supposed to be here. What are you doing? We're just going to stand here and look at you.
Yeah.
So...
You mentioned how you don't watch cable anymore. Like I myself have steered away from cable television.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
I can't remember the last time I like sat down and actually watched like cable TV, because I have a Hulu and Netflix subscription.
I have Netflix. I only use it when I'm with people. I don't watch anything on my own. Mm-hmm. The only thing I will actually watch on my own are like 15-minute commentary videos on YouTube and stuff. Not just video game commentary, but like just general, like Pyrocynical is a good one for me. Other than that, the content I consume is podcasts and video games and music.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I'm very much in favor of like narrative stories and stuff. So I spend a lot of time looking for a new movie or a new show to watch on Hulu and Netflix, and like YouTube is kind of the platform I go to when I just need to like shut my brain down and just watch something entertaining.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of just what it's become at this point. Like I feel like narrative and other, I mean, they've kind of started to with YouTube Premium and how they're doing exclusive shows have kind of like jumped into that, but like free YouTube as it is, I feel like it's just a platform for you to go in and just shut your brain down unless you're watching something that's like seriously educational.
I agree. And with like you said, you prefer narratives and like interesting and intelligent narratives. Mm-hmm. I like them when there's someone there I can talk about them with, or if I have someone else that has watched it otherwise. Like on our trip to South Carolina, we watched a lot of movies. Mm-hmm. A lot of movies. And we could sit there and say, like, what'd you like about that? What'd you not like about that? I like having that discussion afterward. I don't like just sitting there with it, just with myself. I have to share it. You know what I mean? Well, not like Facebook share it, but I have to share it with somebody right there.
I get that perspective. I am that way in some cases, but in most cases, I prefer to watch movies by myself.
Yeah.
I'm someone who likes to go into my room and have like sit at my desk or in bed with the movie just kind of playing and just kind of investing myself solely in what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and like immersing myself, which I find more difficult to do if I'm watching with a group of people.
Fair.
Because I feel when we watched movies, we did a lot of like intermediate like riffing of what we were seeing or like commenting on what we were seeing.
Yeah.
Compared to which I like to do some cases, but in most cases I prefer to be by myself and just solely watch and take in.
So that nobody's quipping over the movie that you like. Yeah. I get that. You gotta expect that with us though, but like. And like
I get the whole like having a conversation like during the movie about what you're seeing and after, which is why I'm a huge fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000. If you've ever seen that show, where it started in the 80s, where they would watch like really shitty B movies and like would riff on them during the whole thing. The original show from the like 80s and 90s is absolutely hilarious. They rebooted it on Netflix and it's okay. I actually saw them live a couple years ago, I think it was 2 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, because they went to the Columbus Convention Center and they did a movie riffing live, which was really fun.
That's cool.
And
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, the new show is okay. I way better prefer the original. I just think the movies that they do and I think just it's more entertaining. And not to say that the new guys aren't as good, but I like the old one better, I guess.
Is it kind of like Styx, where there are no original band members left?
I can't remember. I know the whole thing is that there's the human, and then there's two robot pals, which are what are their names? It's like Tom and God, what are I can't remember the names of the robots.
Is it the Bob and Tom show?
No, it's
shout out Bob and Tom.
It's like Crow and Tom or something, are like the two robots.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I think it's the original voices for the new show, but it's a different human. It used to be this guy named Joel, and now it's
Joel.
This guy named I can't remember the names. Joel, and now it's this guy named this more modern comedian Noah. I forget his last name.
Trevor Noah?
No, he was in Marin for a couple episodes.
Shout out Marin,
That's
by
a
the
great
way.
show.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know who you would be talking about,
but yeah, I can't remember his name. But anyway,
yeah.
I just for some reason I prefer to like shut my brain down, and like I'm also a huge binger. I recently last night watched Netflix's new show Love, Death and Robots, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's an anthology series, so each episode is something different. It's kind of like Twilight Zone or Black Mirror, but each episode for this show, it's animated. It's also in like different animation styles. So you'll see ones that are like more CG and like what you would like expect like a video game cutscene to look like, and some are more like cartoon hand drawn styles and more like just kind of other obscure like 3D renderings and other stuff. So like there's a bunch of different styles. There's one that is like a combination of animation and live action, which is good because it has Topher Grace, who played Venom in the 2007 Spider-Man 3.
Nice.
That movie was kind of hot garbage, but
Hot take. Sam doesn't agree with you.
he says it's not as bad as people. He thinks it's like around the same as 1 and 2. I think I personally like 1 better than out of the other 3. Everybody says that Spider-Man 2 is way better, which I like Spider-Man 2, but I always like the first one the best.
It's been a little too long for me to actually have any solid opinions on those movies.
I grew up with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man series. Like my dad and I used to watch the first movie like over and over again all the time.
Yeah.
It was just always my favorite movie. The scene where like Willem Dafoe as like Green Goblin like hops out of the chamber and like he's like because he's like testing the serum on himself.
Yeah.
And the moment where
that is a great scene
where he like comes out and like attacks his partner, that scared the shit out of me as a child. Like
that's a great scene though.
Yeah.
I remember that vividly actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I just and I enjoy anthology series in general. I enjoyed Twilight Zone. I really like Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is great.
I haven't seen all of Black Mirror. I've only seen like a few episodes here and there, but the episodes that I have seen, I really liked. I fucking loved Bandersnatch.
That was a good one.
I dug that.
Give me a shine. Give me a fucking shine.
I went through. I got every single ending in Bandersnatch.
That probably took a while.
It took about 3 or 4 hours.
That's like Gone with the Wind.
I did it all in one sitting. I'm a guy who's like, I can't just sit down and watch a single episode. So, because like if Netflix or Hulu releases a series, it's typically like just
the season.
Like in Netflix and series in particular will release the entire season all at once.
Yeah. And
I can't watch just a single episode. I will sit down and watch the entire season.
Yeah.
So I will I will watch a single episode and then I'll do my homework and then I'll watch the entire series. It's like, okay. now it's 5 a.m. and I still haven't done this essay that's due in like a few hours.
It's cool. I love that.
But yeah, I'm a huge binge. The Office is the reason why I didn't do so good my sophomore year. I admit to that. Because I was absolutely addicted to that show because I would go home and because I was in AP European History where we had to write an essay every week.
Oof.
And I would go home and be like, all right, today I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna get this done after an episode of The Office. And then it'd be like, all right, now it's fucking like 12 o'clock at night and it's like I still haven't started.
We watched
I'm
The
really
Office.
bad with that.
Yeah, I've never been a huge watcher. We watch The Office in our psychology class now, and the teacher likes to say that it's about the lesson we're doing. He just wants to watch The Office. It's clear. The only 2 shows I have ever binged all the way through, both when I was sick. And these are the only 2 fictional shows. I've watched a few documentary series all the way through. Like I watched the Ted Bundy one that came out recently.
So good.
That was really good. But the only 2 shows that are like narrative based and are like TV shows that I've watched all the way through are Dexter and Sex Education. And that's a weird that's a weird couple.
Yeah.
It's an odd couple.
I haven't seen Sex Education yet. Is it good?
Very, very good. You said it was the guy from Ender's Game.
Yeah, there's like the main character from Ender's Game, which I think is funny.
He did a great job. The show is very entertaining. the characters are extremely well written, and I like British people. So
It's a British show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very British. It's painfully British. So it's great. It's very well done. Dexter is my favorite show of all time.
I never got into it.
Peaky Blinders is a nice second, but I still have yet to watch it all the way through. So I recommend Peaky Blinders as Cillian Murphy.
My dad loves that show.
Yeah,
Peaky Blinders.
dude, I'm not even the kind of guy that wants to be like macho. Like that's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't, pat gat and like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't like. She like smoking a cigar, like. But I like watching that shit, and that's not who I want to be at all. But it's really cool to watch what, like, the show is about them tearing themselves up too. So it kind of just validates me and my non-masculinity, in that like, oh well, these people are like that, and they end up dying anyway. So like, okay, cool, I'm safe, But Dexter is a whole other animal. I'm a huge fan of Michael C. Hall. He does very well in 6 Feet Under.
That was a good show.
That was a good one.
Did you ever watch Taboo?
No.
So it was that series that Tom Hardy did on FX.
Tom Hardy's great.
I
you ever
watched
watch Bronson? Did you see Bronson yet?
No.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, Taboo. I really liked how it looked when it came out, and like I watched the first few episodes, and it was really interesting. But it felt very slow.
Yeah.
And like Tom Hardy has this weird like incest shit going on with his sister.
That's nice.
And, yeah, it was like this guy is Bane and Mad Max. But now it was interesting.
Keep it all in the family.
Jesus. But it felt really slow, and I eventually just stopped. And I heard like when I talked to other people about it who actually finished it all the way through, they were like, it was okay. So I feel like I wasn't really missing much by not continuing to watch the whole show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm currently looking for a new show to start up. I've been thinking about going back to Breaking Bad because I never finished it.
Yeah.
I made it like partway through season. There's how many seasons are there? 4?
I don't even know.
Did you never watched it?
I watched it. I just don't remember anything about it really. It's been a while.
I think there's 4 seasons, so I think I'm like a quarter way season 4.
Okay.
So I never quite finished it. I've been thinking about going back to finish that up, but then it's like which means I probably got like, I don't know, maybe 10 episodes left, if less. So then it's like, all right, time to move on to the next thing.
Speaking of moving on to the next thing, and looking for new things to watch and to be, really. Mm-hmm. One of our topics that we wanted to hit today was the way... Because we live in a Midwestern city, and we live in a Midwestern state. Mm-hmm. And the most common thing said about Ohio is that it is corn. So...
Not the band.
Not the band. C-O-R-N, and not a backwards C. It's just corn... And we live in horrible weather and blah, 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 yada, yada. I want to move. I want to escape. Yada, yada. Okay, first of all, yeah, the weather's shit. Whatever. As I said in the first episode, it is a NutriBullet. Second thing is, a lot of these people... this is an impression. Here's another hot take. I think I hear a lot of people saying they want to get out of our city to go to these new... I'm going to backtrack for a moment. I was listening to Super Duty Tough Work podcast the other week, and they were talking about people wanting to leave Columbus, and the way they described it was becoming the little fish in the big pond instead of the little fish in the little pond. Like, they feel like they're big enough of fish to move to this new pond, and so they want it, But there's a large amount of merit, I think, in staying with your city and supporting your local. And we've already gone over how much I want to support local and everything, so we don't have to go over that again ad nauseum. But there's just a lot of this attitude of, I have to get out of here to bigger, better things, when the most important thing probably is to make your city, wherever you are, the bigger, better thing. You can't do that if everyone is saying everywhere else is the bigger, better thing. You make your opportunities here. Well, there are a lot of opportunities already.
I think there are some opportunities here in Columbus, but I think people see that other big cities, such as like cities in New York and California, they see a way to grow faster and the like much greater opportunity, because Columbus, although it's on the rise, it's not like it's not one of those go-to spots where like some kid from, I don't know, East Nebraska is going to be like, he's like, you know where I want to go to pursue my dreams? Columbus, Ohio. Whereas,
they should. Like, that's what it should be.
I think, but we had a guest speaker come to our school a couple months ago, Hanifa Durakib, who has kind of, he was born and raised in the east side of Columbus, and is kind of been in the news recently. He's a very up and coming like author and poet, and who did a lot of also writing back in MTV, I think in the early 2000s, I want to say, somewhere around there. But he came to our school, and I personally asked him, he's like, you know, there's a lot of people that are moving out to California and New York because those are kind of like the spot, especially if you plan on going into like the arts in whatever medium. That's what people are going to. And I asked him, I was like, well, why did you choose to stay in Columbus? And he was like, well, I was born here, man. This is the city that I know. And he talked about like how he has a lot of pride for Columbus and how he sees that it's on the rise and he wants to be a part of it being on the rise. And that was very inspiring to me, because at the time I was like, you know, eventually I want to move myself out to LA, and at some point I think that I might, but I do, at least right now, want to stay in Columbus, because I see that it's on the rise and I see a lot of people coming out of Ohio, and I want to be a part of that. I want to be, because for a long time I was kind of like, you know, fuck Ohio, fuck Columbus.
Yeah.
This is like, I fucking hate this city. It was like, well, I've grown up in Upper Arlington for most of my life, and like I've been in Grove City and Hilliard, but I haven't spent nearly as much time as I want to in like the downtown scene, like actual like center Columbus.
Yeah.
And I want to spend a lot more time down there to really kind of understand the city that I've grown up in, because I feel like I've missed out on a lot. Like I'm still young. I'm 17 years old, but at the same time, it's like I feel like I haven't been super exposed to a lot of things that Columbus has to offer as a city. And I want to experience that more, and I want to help grow myself as an artist in this city, because I think that we can turn Columbus into the next LA or Manhattan. I'm probably not Manhattan, but like you know what I mean. Just like
I know what you mean.
Eventually get it up there so that Columbus is one of those big name cities that people go to, you know, make a name for themselves.
And part of that is us too.
Mm-hmm.
We're part of this city. I want Gab Street to be known as one of the Columbus podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want to be known as Columbus. I want to help represent our city.
And that's not to say that we don't want people from other states and other cities to listen. We just want people to know that, like,
representing us to them as well.
We started out in Columbus, and we want to make that loud and clear.
Exactly. And one initiative, I mean, it's part of a larger thing, but something that's actually grown a lot over the past few years is TEDx Columbus,
mm-hmm.
which is something I've gone to a few times.
I went to it this year.
Yeah, you had your class.
Yeah, my honors cinematic class went and saw it this year.
Yeah, I was there in the afternoon session. You guys were there in the morning session, I believe.
Yeah.
We actually talked about one of the speakers, the very first episode of this podcast, Doug McCullough. He's the CIO of the city of Dublin.
It's ringing a bell, but it's very faint.
He talked about, it was when we talked about civilian privacy.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, just take the leap of faith.
Mm.
And I didn't name drop him in the first episode. Apologies, Doug. But that was a really cool presentation, and I appreciated hearing that sentiment. I had never heard anyone say that before. And so that really shaped my ideas about civilian privacy. But anyway, I think, you know, all the more power to you if you think you can make it living large in LA or, New York or wherever. Those are the two cities I can think of. All I ask is that you remember where you're from, and you maybe bring back some of that pizzazz. Just a little bit. It's like I was educated there, but I was cultivated here.
Yeah. And I think there's like some people that I know that are moving out who plan to move to bigger cities, just because like I see, because they've been dreaming of this their whole life, because they've seen that as the spot, and I think that they can do very well in those cities. So I think it's kind of depends on the kind of person that you are individually, on whether or not you are planning to stay in your city to grow, and think if you can grow in your career and live out your dream where you are, or if you need to relocate. I feel like it kind of depends on the person that you are and and what exactly you want to go into. I feel like Columbus is kind of big in the music scene, in particularly, but if I want to go into film and media production, like we have companies and like a lot of filmmakers like in Columbus, but I feel like that's not nearly as prominent as to like if you were to try to make it out in LA or New York. But that's kind of where I have to work with, because like I said, I want to continue being in Columbus, and I want to help grow, make it so that filmmakers can think of Columbus as a spot where
a place to be.
Yeah.
Yes. Another thing that Columbus is known for across the nation, pretty much, as far as I know, is our OSU and its medical facilities.
Yeah.
Or just our medical facilities in general. We have some of the best hospitals there are in our city, not just our city. Not just like I don't know if it's really spread out around the state. It might just be in Columbus, but I know that we're pretty good when it comes to cancer research, and stuff like that. And you see those billboards everywhere.
Us in Michigan, I think.
Yeah, we're where it's at when it comes. Can you call it the medical scene? Would you call it the medical?
That's a weird way to put it, but
I know,
I can't think of any other.
The medical field. But that's slang. I'm gonna call it the medical scene from now on. There's a band called Carcass that their lyrics is all just medical terms being screamed incoherently into a microphone.
Mike would love that.
Mike would absolutely love that. Yes. But
yeah, last thing I think we can talk about real quick is sleep.
Yes.
Importance of sleep, because I personally did not go to bed until 5 a.m. This is due to me pretty much binge watching Love, Death, and Robots, and watching a documentary on who actually wrote the original Batman storyline and created the character. It wasn't Bob Kane, it was Bill Finger. But anyway, sleep.
But Bob Kane sounds better than Bill Finger. So.
You ever seen the movie Freddy Got Fingered?
I have not.
Don't.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, sleep. I don't get much of it because I am either always working on a project that is keeping me up, or two, I am binge watching. Binge watching is kind of, well, it's like, and it's not because I'm like procrastinating. I have a tendency to do that, but a lot of times I'm also working on projects where I'm not procrastinating and I'm trying to get it done earlier, so I'm staying up later. But I have yet to find like a balance of like time of like managing my time right so that I can actually get like a good full night's sleep. And it doesn't help like if I have like a big project that I'm working on and I've got to work and I've got to go to school and like a bunch of time. So, but yeah, some of it's my own fault, but some of it can be tricky.
Personally, since August of 2018, before then I was on a pretty bad sleep schedule, pretty much always. But in August of 2018, I took my health into my own hands, and I actually recently got a real bed for
You
the
actually
first
got a
time
bed.
yesterday.
You're not on a futon anymore.
Yeah, I was on a futon on the floor for a long time, which was my own choice. It's not like I'm being neglected or anything. Like that I was like, hey, I just want a futon. That's all I need, and that's what I did. But now this man next to me has my futon, so
I do.
that's
for
cool.
when I move out, I'm taking it.
Yes,
Taking your bed.
you're stealing my furniture. You steal a lot of my furniture.
You
took
gave
like
it to me.
You took like 3 chairs.
That's your fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's my fault, but you still stole it.
I don't think that's
Anyway,
how that
I have a
works.
real bed now, and it's great, and I slept great last night. But ever since August, I've been going to bed at like 8:30 sometimes,
I can't do that.
9:30. It used to be 12. It used to be 12 every single night, and I've been taking like 3 milligrams of melatonin a night, which is really not that much, but it does it. And then I'll have a little bit of caffeine in the morning, and I'm willing to pay that price to feel better than I always had. I was always just tired as shit. I just always had no energy, and everybody around me was like, "Oh, you should get more sleep. It's so important." And I'm like, I don't care. I don't believe in that. And I got more sleep, and it is more important. And I recommend that everybody actually do it, especially earlier than you think, because not earlier in the night. I mean earlier in life. So if you do it in high school, everybody in high school is staying up all the time. You get to start early. It's going to get you set up for the rest of life.
Yeah. Well, I work typically 4 days out of the week, 3 of which are during the actual Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and my shifts are typically 4 to 10 or 5 to 10. So I often don't get home until late, and then I might have homework that I need to finish up on. And the days that I sometimes end up going to sleep earlier on the days that I'm off, but that's just because I have no motivation to stay up and actually get work done on those days because I've been working and just going to school for the other days. So it's I've been just kind of exhausted myself. So on my days off, on the days where I was okay, I have this day off work, I can actually get stuff done, and I end up just going home and falling asleep.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if on the days that you can, as much as you can, get that extra sleep. Get as much extra sleep, even in the smallest pockets.
Yeah.
That you can. Even an extra half an hour in the morning can do a lot for you.
I need to figure shit out. I need to get back on a regular sleep schedule with school, because since we were out of town, we were going to bed at fucking 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And waking up
I'll
at
admit
10 or 12.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah, so I need to fix myself.
Yeah. I'm not doing that tonight though.
Oh, I'm
going to stay up tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, sleep's very important. It's been a life changer for me for a little bit now, and I recommend anyone to take advantage of.
I recommend you sleep.
Sleep. This episode is sponsored by Sleep. Yes.
Casper Mattress, hit us up. We will.
We aren't sponsored yet. We don't have any sponsors. If you own a mattress company,
we have a potential one.
Do we?
Potentially.
Yes.
Yeah, potentially. I don't want to release the name yet.
That's okay.
But
yeah, let's not do that yet.
Yeah,
That's cool. Last topic that I know you said last topic earlier, but fuck that. We're doing one more topic.
We got a little bit of time.
We got a little bit, yeah.
A little bit of time.
I want to talk about something that I find interesting.
I love how in our notes
it's just heritage.
It just says heritage.
It just says
it's
heritage.
Just the word heritage.
I like discovering where I'm from ancestry-wise, and I did the ancestry thing for Christmas. And I found
you were a Frenchman.
I thought I was French. For the longest time, my family had been telling me I was French, and I'm like, I'm a Frenchman. Baguette. I could say that because that's my word. I could say baguette. And I did the ancestry thing, expecting, to be,
Now we have to call you a coward for other reasons.
Now I have to be. Yes, I have discovered. Now, I'm Irish too, and I'm very predominantly Irish. I'm 54% Irish. That is something I've always known and that I take pride in. I actually go to the Irish Festival every year, and call me a fucking poser, but I actually feel at home at the Irish Festival.
You wear a kilt?
I don't wear a
Then
kilt.
get the fuck out. Or wait, is that Scottish? Fuck me.
I think
don't
it's
know
Scottish.
shit. I don't know. I know
That's-
I'm part Irish. I think I'm predominantly German.
Yeah.
My dad was born in Germany, but he was born on an army base, so it's like whether or not he's like, I don't even think he has like German citizenship because
Okay.
both of his parents were American and born on an army base. So like,
Yeah.
even though he was born in a different country, he's still like American because of like he was being born on the base. But like his
Born on a
side,
mountain, raised in a cave.
no, but I think his family is partially like German, Irish, and Native American.
Yeah.
And my mom's side is Irish, German, and Polish. We like to joke because like we take pride. My mom's side takes pride in the Polish part because I think it was my great grandfather who came here from Poland. So we call we call me the Polak, which is turns out that's also like a white slur, but I don't give a shit.
It's whatever.
It's
Yeah. That's fine.
yeah, but
It's your word.
I haven't done one of those. My brother, he really wants to do one of those like Ancestry 23andMe things, and he
Do
was
it.
like, "Well, we could
It's
both."
fun.
Like my brother was like, "Well, we could pay like the 200 and both of us could do it," and I was like, "Or we can pay the 100 and one of us do it," and I was like, "No, we'll have different results." I was like, "Motherfucker, we came from the same parents. Whatever you have, I'm gonna have." And he was like, "No, that's not how it works," and I was like, "That's exactly how it works. You and I are basically the same person when it comes to DNA."
You know what I replaced French with?
Russian,
No.
Oh.
English.
English, we speak it. So
We speak it, but here's the problem. Here is why I have such a strong immune system. I'm half Irish and half English. Those countries hate each other. So they're always at war.
What the fuck does that have to do with you not fucking sneezing all the time?
So the raging war inside of me between my genes makes my immune system much better.
I don't think you know how science works.
I think I know exactly how
I
it
don't
works.
think that's how that
My
works.
white blood cells have fucking muskets, and you know it. You know that's true. You know what else I am? You know what else I discovered I am? I'm 6% gulag.
That's racist.
I am 6% Russian, apparently. I don't know where that came from. I don't want to ask. But Turning Point USA does not like me anymore.
You took my country.
Yeah, I'm taking the country over.
Took Poland. Is Poland even still a
Poland
country?
doesn't-
Is anybody? Is it its own thing now? Who owns Poland right now?
The world recognizing Poland is kind of like a couple dating on and off. They're just kind of like, yeah, Poland's into space. Poland's a thing. And then other countries like, Poland not real. And then it's like, okay, whatever. And then Poland's like, hey, I'm still kind of here. Like, it's just not...
basically.
Yeah. But, yeah, I have a raging 100-year war going on inside me. It's great. Northern Ireland versus England.
I don't think that's.
I think it's so true,
No.
and you can shut your face.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, at least I'm not French.
That's. I mean, I'm not either.
That looks like a great time to wrap up.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm watching. What the fuck?
Thanks for walking down the Gab Street with us.
Thanks for. Yeah. We should do an episode where we actually like walk downtown.
Yes,
And-
and have the
and
background noise of the century.
Yes.
Would be great.
Just yell somebody go fuck you.
That's how. Don't come to Columbus. They'll yell "fuck
And
you."
we get shot.
Yeah, exactly. All right, tune in next week, where we'll have a guest, but you don't know who. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Wait,
Thank-
we do know who.
We do know who, but you don't know who.
We don't guarantee. Can we guarantee?
We're-
Well, have we asked them yet?
We're not gonna.
I don't know.
We're not gonna spoil things. It could be a him, could be a her. We'll see. We'll see.
Tune in to be educated in the next episode of
Bab Street.
Street Bad.
Yes.
Goodbye.